Today, beautiful and unexpected clear skies on a 70-degree day are not unusual in our area, except when it happens in December. When the unusual, beautiful, unexpected things happen, try not to waste the moment. It's days like this that drew me to live in this area. Days like this that make managing battery tenders for the next few months worth the hassle. This was an opportunity to take out my old CT90 and Sid her new Trail 125 for a spin on a winter day that felt more like September than December. Sid and I decided to not waste it. These bikes don't travel fast, but they do travel fun. There's a little town about 25 miles as the crow flies from where we live. It's a sleepy little town, but it does have one very nice pub that just happens to cater to motorcyclists. That's probably because the engineers who designed the roads leading into the area were not crows. They seem to be enamored with every bend in Roaring River or every bend in every hillside, which leaves snaking trails all over the place. I just happen to know a few good back roads that will lead us to the pub. We're headed out of town, chasing some of these roads. Sid's become excellent over the last few weeks at handling her CT125. She has some healthy caution, particularly with left-hand curves, but definitely handled highway, back roads, and gravel without skipping a beat. Her newly acquired adeptness and the new Honda 125 have me and Tiny 90 riding wide open throttle to keep up while traveling. It was a challenge today to keep pace. That extra 35 cc's does mean a lot. It means even more disparity between the bikes as her increasing courage on two wheels encourages increased aggressive twisting of the throttle. I wouldn't have it any other way. It didn't take us long to get to our destination, the Bull Thistle Pub in Gainesboro, Tennessee. It's an English-style pub with a cozy atmosphere. It's the kind of place that has roast oxtail and cottage pie on the menu, where the chips resemble home fries. We arrived at the historic square and parked across the street from a line of Harley-Davidson bikes. Right after we parked the little bikes and wandered inside, we saw them leave the Bull and Thistle. I was reminded that this was one of our first two updates. While I still had a Harley several years ago, we came out on a hot July night for the dinner menu and didn't take my Dyna back or travel on any of the gravel roads we had traveled today. A lot has changed, but the food is delicious, if a bit on the pricey side. Not your typical roadside diner. They have beer on tap and live music on Friday and Saturdays. We were a bit late for lunch, but well early for dinner. Sid ordered a Celtic burger with roasted Brussels sprouts. She stole one of my chips. I had a bite or two of her burger. I was jealous. They have a covered patio area, but we ate inside because they dropped down in service during the off-peak hours. Still, the service was fast, and the waitress was very nice. After a late lunch, we jumped back on the bikes. The afternoon was still nice, so we headed to the nearby landmark, the Boyles Wildlife Management Area. The Boyles, named from the springs that boil up, is quite small. It's managed for fishing and dove hunting. Locals use it as a cool water swimming spot, and rockhounds come to pick up fossils.
We stopped at the Boyles, which is a small park near Gainesboro, Tennessee, and it's on the Roaring River. So the Roaring River comes through here and deposits a lot of rock and limestone, and what you can find on the banks on a pretty day is crinoid fossils, which are about, I think, 50 million years old, and you can see there's a piece of the crinoid, and then this one's still in the rock, and then they look like this when they're out of the rock, and it's a pretty good pastime for kids to come out to the creek banks and try to find crinoids in the limestone. Let's see if we can look around and find a couple of others. The reason it's called the Boyles is because of this area over here. The Roaring River goes underground, and there's a lot of underground rivers in this area, but the Roaring River goes underground and re-emerges right here in these bubbling springs.
After returning our fossils to the riverbed for others to find, it was time to head home. Sid led most of the way back, and we ended up on a little more highway for a few miles as we were chasing the receding sun. I have to admit that not being able to keep up with the new rider is a bit frustrating. Sid and I have already started talking about trading the CT90 in for either a Grom or maybe a Van. If you have any recommendations, I'd love to hear them. All in all, today Sid and I covered about 80 miles on the little bikes, had a nice lunch, did some fossil hunting, and enjoyed a glorious day in December. When those unexpectedly beautiful days happen, carpe diem.